What if everything you've been told about depression is a lie? What if the emptiness gnawing at your soul, the crushing fatigue that follows you like a shadow, the complete lack of meaning in your daily existence? What if none of this is actually mental illness? Right now, as you watch this, there's a war happening inside your body. A silent battle between life and death, between divine energy and complete depletion. And you're losing this war because you don't even know it's being fought. You wake up drained. You go through your day like a zombie. You collapse into bed feeling spiritually bankrupt. The doctors hand you pills. The therapists schedule more sessions. Society tells you this is normal, that everyone feels this way, that you just need to manage your symptoms better. But what if the real cause of your suffering is something so obvious, so fundamental, that they've hidden it in plain sight? What if your depression isn't coming from your brain at all, but from a sacred energy being hemorrhaged from your body every single day? Swami Sivananda, one of India's greatest spiritual teachers, revealed a truth so powerful that it threatens everything modern medicine wants you to believe about mental health. He discovered that what you call depression is actually spiritual starvation. Your body produces the most precious substance known to human consciousness, more valuable than gold, more powerful than any drug, more essential than food itself. And you're throwing it away like garbage, not knowing that each drop you waste is literally draining years from your life. This isn't about morality. This isn't about religion. This is about the most advanced understanding of human energy that has ever existed, confirmed by both ancient wisdom and modern science. It's about recognizing that your sexual energy isn't just physical pleasure. It's your direct connection to divine consciousness. The symptoms you call depression, the emptiness, the purposelessness, the inability to feel joy, these aren't mental disorders. They're the natural result of squandering the most concentrated form of life force your body can produce. But this knowledge comes with a warning. Once you see the truth, you can never go back to unconscious living. Once you understand what you've been wasting, you'll never be able to throw it away carelessly again. Your semen is not just reproductive fluid, it's the quintessence of your entire being. According to Ayurveda, semen is the last dhatu that is formed out of food. Out of food is manufactured chyle. Out of chyle comes blood. Out of blood comes flesh. This process continues through 7 sacred transformations. Out of flesh comes fat. Out of fat comes bone. Out of bone comes marrow. Out of marrow comes semen. These are the sapta dhatus that support this life and body. Mark here how precious is semen. Every drop of this sacred fluid represents the refined essence of everything you consume, everything you experience, everything that builds your physical and spiritual body. When you waste it carelessly, you're throwing away the concentrated power of your entire being. Modern science confirms what ancient wisdom always knew. Swami Sivananda quoted European medical authorities. It is a medical and physiological fact that the best blood in the body goes to form the elements of reproduction in both the sexes. Dr. Nicole's research revealed, in a pure and orderly life, this matter is reabsorbed. It goes back into circulation ready to form the finest brain, nerve, and muscular tissues. This vital fluid carried back and diffused through his system makes him manly, strong, brave, and heroic. But when wasted, the opposite occurs. It leaves him effeminate, weak, and physically debilitated, and prone to sexual irritation and disordered function, a wretched nervous system, epilepsy, and various other diseases and death. Your depression isn't a mental health disorder. It's the direct result of vital energy depletion. Your anxiety isn't a chemical imbalance. It's your nervous system crying out for the nourishment you've been squandering. Your lack of motivation, your creative blocks, your spiritual emptiness, all of these are symptoms of what happens when you treat your most sacred essence as disposable pleasure fuel. Swami Sivananda made this connection explicit. Semen is found in a subtle state in all the cells of the body. Just as sugar is all-pervading in the sugar cane, butter in milk, so also semen is pervading the whole body. When you preserve this essence, it nourishes every cell, every organ, every aspect of your being. When you waste it, the more the wastage of semen, the more is the weakness. Your entire system becomes depleted because you're hemorrhaging your life force. The ancient yoga texts declared this truth with stark simplicity. Maranam bindu patanat, jivanam bindu rakshanat. Falling of semen brings death. Preservation of semen gives life. This isn't metaphor. It's the fundamental law of vital energy. In the next section, we'll examine exactly how this depletion creates the psychological and spiritual symptoms you're experiencing, and why modern culture deliberately keeps you ignorant of these connections. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Most people don't realize they're being systematically drained because the process operates through the most intimate aspects of their being. Swami Sivananda revealed the profound connection between your sexual energy and your mental state. Mind, prana, and virya are the three links of one chain. They are the three pillars of the edifice of the Jivatman. Destroy one pillar, mind, prana, or virya, and the whole building will fall to pieces. Your depression, your anxiety, your inability to concentrate, these aren't separate mental health issues. They're the inevitable result of weakening one of the three fundamental pillars that support your entire existence. When your virya is depleted through unconscious sexual patterns, your prana becomes unsteady. Your life force can't flow properly through your system. Your mind loses its natural stability and clarity, becoming scattered, reactive, and prone to negative states. Swami Sivananda explained this mechanism with scientific precision. If the virya is lost, prana gets unsteady. Prana is agitated. The man becomes nervous. Then the mind also cannot work properly. The man becomes fickle-minded. There is mental weakness. This is why meditation feels impossible when you're sexually depleted. Why creative projects feel overwhelming. Why spiritual practices seem dry and meaningless. You're trying to function with compromised prana and a destabilized mind. The intimate connection between these three forces means that controlling any one of them affects the others. By controlling the mind, you can control prana and semen. By controlling prana, you can control the mind and semen. By controlling semen, you can control the mind and prana. But modern culture encourages the opposite approach. Instead of conservation and conscious direction of sexual energy, you're taught to release it whenever impulse arises. This creates a cycle of mental weakness that deepens with each unconscious act. When a man is excited by passion, the prana is set in motion. Then the whole body obeys the dictate of the mind, just as a soldier obeys the command of his commander. The vital air moves the internal sap. The semen is put into motion. Your sexual impulses aren't just physical. They're energetic hurricanes that throw your entire system into chaos. It falls downwards, just as the clouds burst into rainwater, just as the fruits, flowers, and leaves drop down by the force of blowing winds. Each time you follow these impulses unconsciously, you're literally allowing your life force to fall away from you like fruit dropping from a tree in a storm. And with each loss, your mental and spiritual faculties become weaker. This isn't about moral judgment. It's about understanding the mechanics of consciousness itself. Swami Sivananda taught that semen nourishes the physical body, the heart, and the intellect. When this nourishment is constantly drained away, all three suffer. Your physical vitality diminishes. Your emotional life becomes shallow and reactive. Your intellectual capacity becomes clouded and limited. You become a fraction of what you could be, operating on spiritual and mental fumes. Modern psychology treats these symptoms separately, never addressing the root cause. Antidepressants for the mood, stimulants for the focus, endless therapy for the emotional instability, all while the fundamental energy that supports consciousness continues to leak away. But Swami Sivananda revealed the direct path to restoration. Mind, prana, and virya are under the one sambandha or connection. If the mind is controlled, prana and virya are controlled automatically. This means that conscious conservation of sexual energy doesn't just preserve physical vitality. It directly stabilizes your mental and emotional states. It's the most practical form of mental health care ever discovered. In the next section, we'll examine how this conservation process works and why it's the foundation of both psychological well-being and spiritual development. Because once you understand these principles, you'll never see your mental health the same way again. The restoration of your mental and spiritual vitality begins with understanding a profound truth that Swami Sivananda taught. Your sexual energy is not separate from your spiritual energy. It is your spiritual energy in its most concentrated form. God is rasa. Rasa is virya, the vital fluid. You can get eternal bliss by the attainment of rasa or virya alone. But this energy must be conserved and transformed, not wasted. When preserved, this vital fluid carried back and diffused through his system makes him manly, strong, brave, and heroic. The very qualities you admire in great spiritual teachers, their presence, their clarity, their unshakable peace, come from mastering this fundamental force. Swami Sivananda emphasized that this conservation brings a notable increase of bodily and mental and spiritual vigor. Not just physical health, but mental clarity and spiritual awakening. All three arise naturally when you stop hemorrhaging your life essence. The process works through what ancient science called reabsorption. When sexual energy is not expelled, it has been found that whenever the seminal secretions are conserved and thereby reabsorbed into the system, it goes towards enriching the blood and strengthening the brain. This isn't mystical theory. It's describing the actual physiological process by which your nervous system gets nourished. Dr. Dio Louis confirmed that the conservation of this element is essential to strength of body, vigor of mind, and keenness of intellect. Your depression lifts not because of chemical intervention, but because your brain finally receives the high-quality nutrition it's been starved of. Your anxiety dissolves because your nervous system becomes naturally stable and resilient. Your creative blocks disappear because the energy that was being wasted is now available for mental and artistic pursuits. Your spiritual practices deepen because you finally have the vital force necessary to sustain states of higher consciousness. Swami Sivananda declared the profound truth: Virya is all power, Virya is all money, Virya is God. Virya is God in motion, Virya is dynamic will, Virya is Atmabala, Virya is God's vibhuti. The Lord himself speaks in the Bhagavad Gita, Paurusham Nrishu, I am the seed or virility in men. Your sexual energy is literally divine energy expressing itself through your human form. When you waste it, you're squandering your direct connection to the divine. But when you conserve and sublimate this energy, something miraculous occurs. The same force that creates physical life begins to create spiritual life. The energy that would have been lost in momentary pleasure becomes the fuel for permanent transformation. This is why every authentic spiritual tradition has taught principles of sexual conservation. Not from prudishness or fear of pleasure, but from understanding that sexual energy is the raw material of enlightenment itself. Virya is the essence of life, thought, intelligence, and consciousness. Therefore, preserve this vital fluid very, very carefully. This preservation isn't about suppression. It's about recognizing the true value of what you possess and refusing to trade it for temporary pleasures. When you understand that each moment of sexual conservation is literally building your spiritual body, strengthening your mental faculties, and connecting you more deeply to divine consciousness, the choice becomes obvious. Your depression isn't a disease requiring external treatment. It's your soul crying out for the nourishment you've been denying it. Your lack of purpose isn't a career problem. It's the natural result of depleting the very energy that creates meaning and drive. But the path to restoration is available to anyone willing to treat their sexual energy with the reverence it deserves. In the final section, we'll explore the practical steps for reclaiming your vital essence and experiencing the transformation that follows. The path to reclaiming your vital energy begins with a fundamental shift in understanding. You must recognize that your sexual energy is not merely a physical function. It's the most concentrated form of divine power available to human consciousness. Swami Sivananda taught that conservation of Virya requires complete integration. Only that man who uses the physical body, the heart, and the intellect can have perfect Brahmacharya. This isn't about partial restraint. It's about conscious direction of energy through every aspect of your being. Physical discipline alone isn't sufficient. A wrestler who uses his physical body only, but keeps the intellect and the heart undeveloped, cannot expect to have full Brahmacharya. The portion of semen which goes to nourish the heart and the mind will certainly flow out. Similarly, mental practices without physical and emotional integration remain incomplete. True conservation requires developing your entire being, body, heart, and mind, so that all aspects of your nature support the preservation and sublimation of vital energy. Start by recognizing the preciousness of what you possess. Swami Sivananda compared the cellular process to bees. Just as bees collect honey in the honeycomb drop by drop, so also the cells of the testes collect semen drop by drop from the blood. Every drop represents hours of cellular work, the concentration of precious blood, the essence extracted from everything you consume and experience. When you understand this biological reality, casual waste becomes impossible. Begin with simple observation. Notice the relationship between sexual activity and your energy levels, mental clarity, and emotional stability. Notice how you feel physically and spiritually before and after sexual release. Most people operate unconsciously, never connecting their sexual patterns to their psychological states. But once you begin conscious observation, the connections become undeniable. Sexual conservation leads to increased vitality, creativity, and spiritual sensitivity. Practice the integration of all three pillars. Strengthen your body through disciplined exercise and proper nutrition. Develop your heart through compassion, service, and devotional practices. Train your intellect through study, meditation, and contemplation of spiritual truths. When all three aspects are developed simultaneously, conservation becomes natural rather than forced. The energy that would seek lower expression is automatically drawn upward toward higher purposes. Remember Swami Sivananda's teaching about steady vision. If the drishti or vision is steady, the mind also becomes steady. Therefore, control the prana, the virya, and the drishti. What you consistently focus your attention on determines where your energy flows. If your vision constantly seeks sexual stimulation, your energy will flow towards sexual expression. But if you train your vision to seek the divine in all forms, your sexual energy naturally transforms into spiritual energy. This transformation isn't suppression, it's sublimation. The same force that creates physical life becomes the power that creates spiritual awakening. The energy doesn't disappear, it rises to serve higher purposes. As this process deepens, you'll experience what Dr. E.P. Miller described. All waste of spermatic secretions, whether voluntary or involuntary, is a direct waste of the life force. You'll understand viscerally that sexual conservation is literally life conservation. Your depression will lift as your nervous system receives proper nourishment. Your anxiety will dissolve as your energy stabilizes. Your creative powers will flourish as life force becomes available for higher expression. Most importantly, you'll reconnect with the divine essence within yourself. Grasp fully the importance and value of this vital essence of life. Virya is God's vibhuti. You'll stop seeking external validation and pleasure because you'll be generating bliss from within. This isn't about becoming celibate necessarily, it's about becoming conscious. Whether you express sexuality or conserve it completely, the key is conscious choice rather than unconscious compulsion. The path requires dedication, but the rewards are beyond measure. As Swami Sivananda promised, you can get eternal bliss by the attainment of rasa or virya alone. The very thing you've been wasting unconsciously contains the key to permanent fulfillment. If this teaching has reached you, it's because your soul is calling you back to wholeness. Trust that calling. Your vital essence is waiting to be reclaimed, and with it, your connection to the divine power that is your true nature. Now I want you to participate. Share in the comments which aspects of this teaching resonate most deeply with you. Your recognition could be the beginning of your spiritual rebirth. And remember, this wisdom goes even deeper. Keep watching the next video because your complete transformation depends on understanding these truths fully. See you there.